The next 3 moves are all about sending email. In move 4, you'll learn how to use the email editor and to send an email to a single contact. So let's get started by drafting an email up in the email editor now. It's actually very simple and not so different from sending an email to your friend from Gmail or Outlook or whichever email client you normally use. You're just going to draft your message in the email editor here in Ontraport, then send it. So let me walk you through how to do that. Start by clicking on the contact to whom you'd like to send an email. Once the contact record is open, click the Actions button, which will open the Actions drawer. Then click on Send Email. Now you can choose to use the message you have already created and have stored in the Messages collection, or you can choose to draft a message on the fly, which is what I'll be showing you right now. Go ahead and drop down the email name menu as if to select an existing message, but rather than doing that, click on Create New Message. The first thing you'll want to do here is give your email message a name. I would suggest using consistent naming conventions for your email. That way you'll always be able to find and identify your emails as well as know what they're for at a glance. Now decide who this email should come from. For accounts with multiple users, this is important because sometimes you might want an email to show up to your contacts as being sent from you, while other times you may want it to show up to your readers as having come from, say, your receptionist or your salesperson. This setting determines the name that shows up here in your recipient's inbox. Next, you can set the reply to email. This is merely the address at which you'd like to receive the emails when people hit reply to this email. After that, select your mail from address. This is the email address your contacts will see as the source of this email. The rest of this should be familiar. You can float your mouse over the top of the different buttons to learn what they do, but we'll let you do that on your own. Onward. Then you will simply type out your message. There are a lot of fancy features in this email editor, many of which you will rarely use, but one of the most popular is this one right here, which helps you add a link to your email. Let's add a link to this email now. First, highlight the word you want to link. So I'll just type, to learn more about mastering Kung Fu to defeat the Shogun Menace, click here, warrior. Then I will highlight the words, click here, warrior. Now I'll click the link icon and type or paste the URL to which you'd like the link to send them. Remember to use the http:// at the beginning. Be warned, always use this tool to create links in your emails, rather than simply typing the URL into your message. Otherwise, your messages are destined to die in the spam folders of your contacts alongside offers for cheap Viagra and formal requests for financial assistance from deposed African royalty, and this isn't what you want. Also, never paste text from Word into the Ontraport message editor. Doing so screws up the format and layout of your emails. Once you've got your message looking how you want it, click Copy from HTML, which will create a second version of your email that is text only. This just allows folks who still use their 1986 IBM and those who have an irrational fear of catching something from HTML to view your emails correctly. Now that you're done writing your email, save it and you'll be taken back to where you left off in the Send Email menu in your contact record. By all means, do set the send date and time to the moment you'd like the email to go out. Ontraport lets you send any email immediately or at a scheduled time down to 5-minute increments. This means I can send out an email at 8:05, 8:10, or 8:15 and so on, which is perfect if you need your email to go out at once or at a very specific time. Then I just click Send. That's it. Now you know how to use the email editor and how to send an email to a contact. In the next move, you will learn how to send one email to a group of contacts all at once. Alright, now you know how to use the email editor and how to send an email to one contact. In this move, you'll learn how to send an email to many people at once. We call this an email broadcast. You can handpick the contacts you want to send the email to by checking the box next to their name and clicking Send Email in the Actions drawer when it opens. This again brings up the Send Email menu you saw from the previous move. From there, everything is the same as sending an email to just one person. Or maybe you want to send an email to everyone in your database, in which case you'd select All up top here by clicking the checkbox in the header row to select every contact on this page at once. But the most common way you'll send an email broadcast is to a specific segment of your database. Perhaps you want to send an email just to people who live in California, or just to past customers, or maybe you want it to go to prospects who haven't yet bought who live in California. In order to email those specific segments of your database, you'll first need to slice and dice your list according to whatever criteria you want. We call these segments groups. A good way to think about groups is as if they were saved searches. You are basically setting up a search for all contacts that meet certain criteria, then saving that search so you can go back to it whenever you like. Your group criteria can be based on any data in your database. So let me show you how to create a group. Once you are in the contact screen, click the Manage Groups button up top here. Name the group something intuitive. I'm going to create a group of all my contacts who live in California, so I'll name it California Residents. Set the search criteria. Since the criteria that qualifies a contact to be included in this group is merely that they live in California, I'll indicate that their state field must equal California. Now I could add other criteria to further refine the group if I wanted to, say include only customers who live in California or only customers who bought product A who live in California, but to keep it simple, I'm just creating a group of everyone who lives in California. One last thing before I save this group, I must set the permissions on who can view and edit this group. I'll set this one to everyone can view and edit because here at Ontraport, we don't keep secrets. Then I click Save. Now back in the contact screen, as you can see, I have a new group, people who live in California. And there you have it, groups. See how we have a list of people who live in California here? Now, if I were to go fill out my smart form and choose California in the state field, you'd find that the new contact record I added would automatically be included in this group we called Everyone Who Lives in California. There's no need to add these contacts to the group manually or ever think about it again, because anyone who fits into this group will be added automatically ever after. That's the beauty of groups. Now, if I want to send an email broadcast to this group, I'd just be sure the group is selected up top here. Then I would check the box in the header row and select all contacts in group back up here. From there, the process is exactly the same as it was for the previous move, but let's go into the email we made in move 4 one more time and make a quick adjustment. To do this, select the email in the email name drop-down menu and click Edit. Since this time the email will be going out to more than one person, let's also merge in the first name so that when Jill gets it, it says Dear Jill, and when Jack gets it, it says Dear Jack, and so forth. You can merge in any data you like from any field in your contacts records, and we call these merge fields. To use the merge field for first name, simply type Dear or Hi or whatever greeting you choose. Then, right below here, expand the merge fields drop-down box and choose whichever field you'd like to merge. Then click Insert Merge Field. Notice that it has included the words first name within brackets right here where I want my recipient's first name to be merged in. That's the idea. Now we'll go ahead and save the email and send it on its way to our newly created group. Just 4 moves left. In move 6, you will learn how to automate the sending of emails. This will be your first venture into Ontraport's automation. See you in move 6. In move number 4, you learned how to use the email editor, and in move number 5, you learned how to create groups and send email to groups of contacts. Nicely done, but it was all manual. In move number 6, you'll learn how to have Ontraport send email for you automatically. You can have it send just one email or mini emails over a scheduled period. This is your first venture into Ontraport's powerful automation engine, and you'll use sequences to make it happen. In this move, you're going to learn how to create a basic sequence that will send a single email automatically. Let me show you how. Once on the contact screen, click Sequences in the navigation menu. Now click New Sequence. As you can see, there are 2 types of sequences to choose from, step sequences and date sequences. I'm just going to show you how to create a step sequence for now, and you'll learn about date sequences down the road. Now I'll create the new step sequence by clicking Create under the New Step Sequence option. Now I name the sequence. I'll name this one New Kung Fu Student Prospect Follow-Up Sequence because this is the sequence I'll be using to automatically email anyone who is a new prospect. That is, anyone who fills out the smart form on my website requesting my free guide, The Top 3 Mistakes Fledgling Kung Fu Grasshoppers Make When Choosing a Master. As you can see, in addition to sending emails, there are a number of different things that sequences can do. We call these different things steps, and while there are a number of different step types, you need not worry about these for now. So to add an email step, you just click the email button next to the Add a Step option. The first thing you'll do once you add an email step to your sequence is to decide when you want it to get delivered to the contacts who are added to the sequence. We call this scheduling the step. First, specify how many days after the previous step you'd like the sequence to wait before it sends the email. If you select 0 here, there will be no days in between the previous step and the step you are currently scheduling. You might be saying to yourself, but this is the very first step in the sequence. There are no previous steps. And that's a valid point. I'll explain. In the case that this is the very first email in your sequence and you wanted it to go out to a contact as soon as they get added to the sequence, then you would put a 0 here. Now specify when you'd like the email delivered. If you want this email to be sent as soon as a contact is added to the sequence, then you would set this to immediate. You could also set a delay of some number of minutes or hours, or even specify the exact time you'd like the email sent. Now you create the email that will be sent. You could draft it up from scratch right here, or you could use a message you have already created in the message collection. That is what we will do here. So I click the menu here and I see the message I created back in move number 4. Next, you set the send from information for your email. This will appear here in most recipients' inboxes. To change the from name or reply to address for this email, you'll need to go back in and edit it. You already know how to do the rest of this move because you've learned how to use the email editor in move 4. You could add more emails and other steps to go out on whatever schedule you choose for as long ahead of time as you like, but for now, we will finish here. Once finished, you will just click here to close and save this step, and then again at the top here to save the whole sequence. Next, you're going to learn how to add context to those sequences so they actually get the automated emails you've designed. This is going to be ultra useful and one of the quickest moves you'll learn.